We know you love your music, so we'll be quick. We love helping you stream the hottest music. And since you're the de facto DJ, everyone's counting on you. So we reimagined Wi-Fi and created Xfinity XFi so you can stream your favorite tunes with reliable speeds whenever, wherever. Whether you're hosting a party or doing a little spring cleaning, you can stream confidently with XFi. This is beyond Wi-Fi. This is XFi. Visit xfinity.com/XFi to learn more.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the most gracious of hosts, a true legend in the flesh, baby. You're listening to the Bruce Montalvo Show.
Aye. Jah Jah. What's up, yo?
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is October 9th, 2015, and you're listening to the dynamic duo of conspiracy, the best there is, the best there was, the best there is in alternative media, the Bruce Montalvo Show. I'm joined by my co-host, Jah Jah, and we're bringing you another electrifying episode of the Bruce Montalvo Show. Thank you for joining us.
Bruce, what's with all these shooters and these school shootings? Another one happened today.
Another one, I didn't really keep up with this one. I mean, they're like a dime a dozen, you know it. The last one,
Daily Shooter?
Want to recap. It's become that, really. I know midgets from NPR like to quote that saying, but it's the truth.
Yeah, it's the truth.
It is the truth. They're
It's the
just
truth,
a dime a dozen. You're not even you're desensitized to them. Like Obama said, you've become comfortably numb to these, just like those Nazis from Pink Floyd said. They're all a bunch of Nazis, ladies and gentlemen. And listen to me, you people don't believe when I tell you it's a false flag. You say, oh, this guy, all he does is say hoax, 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 right? But I tell you who you believe. You'll believe Steven Seagal, okay, that neck-breaking buffoon. In every other movie, that guy breaks somebody's neck. I don't get it. But
and then they come out and saying that they're the first people saying, "Don't take away the guns."
No. Actually, this dumbass is saying what we're saying. He's saying that it's a government-engineered plot. These shootings, all these shooters. I'll tell you what. I don't know if I covered this last week, but the Oregon shooter definitely was a false flag. I was listening to New York talk radio, and I heard one of the mothers of one of the supposed crisis actors / victims call in, and she said that her son told her that it was a drill. So there you go. It is a freaking drill.
Yeah, I heard that also.
Right?
I heard that it slipped out. It slipped out in the recording, but they're not talking about that in mainstream. That actually one person confessed and said, yeah, and it was a drill. And that's why you don't see people very truly emotional. Like, it doesn't resonate with you. If you're one of these clear beings and not just like a zombie and just like having information just hit you,
right?
You know, but you really are a human and you have a soul in there.
Yeah, you're not a robot.
Yeah, and you could actually differentiate between real emotion and fake emotion. Well, these people were faking it, and they will be faking it. And you want to hear something funny, Bruce?
What about what?
When I was responding to my sister-in-law about something, and I was speaking in the phone,
right?
And I said, "Oh, bummer." Guess what? Guess what? It showed up in the text.
What showed up? The dictator in chief.
So it's.
Exactly. Now, speaking of dicks and people who could nowhere near in this lifetime become their successors, it seems that Donald the chump, Mamon, fake hairpiece Trump, is now just picking people from Home Depot now to go on stage with them, and say that they've gone loco for Trump. It's like the cereal box character, the guy that goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Well, now Trump has got this Mexican woman. I don't know. She could be Guatemalan from El Salvador. I don't know. She could be from wherever, okay? But this little midget woman right here is holding up a People magazine and an American flag and saying she's gone loco for Trump. And one thing I find funny, just by looking at this picture, is it looks like Trump is, like, raping this woman. Take a look at this picture. It looks like she's loving it, and he's like hushing
and
it.
Loving it. He probably does that to all of his beauty pageants.
Yeah, he does that to all the maids, all the little Latina maids.
Anybody
that's what him
all the Colombian girls.
That's what him and Arnold have in common. They're like little Mexican Latina maid women.
Wait a second. One day you're telling me that Schwarzenegger likes Justin Bieber. And the next day he likes girls or boys. How
do you think he had that freaking clone? You never heard of that kid he has? It's like half Guatemalan, half Lebensborn.
Oh, yeah, they're all bisexual.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Come
right.
on. So is Heinrich Himmler, a bunch of flip-flopping sandals.
Yeah.
Flip-flops.
Flip-flops.
Anyway, it's funny because he's just trying to get back because some other Nazis made fun of him. Trey Parker, Matt Stone. I can guarantee the South Park guys are freaking Lebensborn, probably.
Oh, they're so Nazis.
They're always beating up on Kyle. Why?
A Jew.
He's a Jew.
And they put pigs next to him.
That's right. I want to talk about that episode where Donald Trump gets ass raped and donkey punched by Mr. Garrison, a former transvestite. And then Mr. Garrison is playing the role of Trump throughout the episode. And in the end, guess who becomes his running mate? Caitlyn freaking Jenner. I was expecting to see Kanye, and Caitlyn Jenner holding hands in the South Park episode. But it seems that the South Park creators are too pussy to come out with that conspiracy, aren't they?
You want to hear this conspiracy? Kanye West is related to Malcolm X. That's the only reason why.
Now you're going to get the entire nation of Islam calling us and telling us that we're a bunch of mother effers.
I know, because we think that all black people look alike. But in the fact, I don't agree.
That's racist. It's the most racist thing I've ever had.
Yeah, that's right. It is not racist, though. Because if you just pull up a picture of Kanye West, right?
Kanye West.
And pull up Malcolm X, you will see even Kanye puts the same glasses on, looks the same, got the same square jaw, same square cheekbones, a lot of times the same smile, and almost the same teeth, So, and eyes too, especially when he smiles, when Malcolm X smiles, you see some very similarities. So I think, because you don't have to make excuses why some talentless schmuck like Kanye gets to take my things and put it out there and remake it.
Amen to that. That guy's got no talent. I got more talent in between my toes, ladies and gentlemen. The freaking toe jam in between my toes could come up with better melodies than Kanye West.
And you just wonder how he can. Well, the melodies are pretty good because most of them are mine. Okay, so I mean they're good, but they're just kind of like darker or something.
And that bastard can't tell me nothing.
I mean, you just wonder why. And he wanted to run for president. I mean, that's why. That just proves that he's got political connections. And why does he have that? That's the only reason why he's there is because some uncle or great uncle.
Very observant.
Yeah, why a great uncle or some relative that was Kanye West. And I don't care what the Nation of Islam says because they know I got no beef and no prejudice against them.
The nation, yeah, I do. You know why? Because they're a nation of Jesuits. And they could all kiss my ass. How's that sound?
Not the average Nation of Islam.
Whatever. They're all run by the Jesuits. They all want to talk. I don't care what they know. They're stupid because they don't know it.
Farrakhan's, yeah. If you're following Farrakhan,
these Jew-hating
oh my God,
bastards out there. Not just Jews, but they hate everyone equally. I mean, they must be listening to Slayer all day. Freaking angel of death.
Farrakhan is just ridiculous with his white-hating, Jew-hating comments and blaming Israel for everything. I mean, that guy's it's just a joke. I mean, he had cancer. One day he had cancer. A couple years later,
and like Bill Hicks,
he didn't have it.
And like Bill Hicks, the New World Order comes around, helps him out. and it hooks them up with a show and Stratford and health remedies, right?
Exactly. And then every other day, whatever they say is subject to change. It all depends. That way they can discredit themselves.
Incredible.
It's just like they never want to tell. You can't follow the same. I don't want to say his name. Yeah, I mean, they talk about one thing, and then the next night they're talking about the exact opposite. One day they're saying, "Oh, nobody ever landed on the moon," and the next day they have an astronaut expert that.
I don't know if many of you didn't spot it, but the dope Pope Francis, an Illuminati hand sign when he addressed Congress. Now, is the Pope working for Rock Nation? I don't know, but he's making the same hand symbols as those guys. And, I mean, that's who's running this jihadi, Wahhabi, hummus-loving caliphate. It's the Catholics right at the top. I got people telling me, oh, but the Rothschilds, they're Jewish. When in fact, they call them Khazars. But in reality, Khazars are really Christians and Muslims to begin with, right? Or what was
They're
it?
Christian,
What was it that
Muslims,
you told me?
and Jews.
You
go to Wiki, anybody. Before you start spewing idiocracy from Tex Mars or whoever other loser that you want to...
Bigot, fat-ass
Yeah,
mind.
just like a mantra, Goebbels, repeat the lie enough times and, eventually people will believe it. Figure out what a Khazar is first. Khazars were a group of judges, and they were exponentially just a bit of everything. They were the top of the Muslims, the top of the Jews, the top of the Christians, and they all were the same. Khazars. They were just like power-hungry people. Like, you can say, about Netanyahu, for example. I mean, he was up there with... He's up there now in Israel, but then you have Alfred Rosenberg. Rosenberg sounds like a Jewish name, but why was he under Hitler? Why? Okay, well, because Rosenberg was not a Jewish name, necessarily. So, I mean, Netanyahu looks just like freaking Alfred Rosenberg. Right. And you can't tell me that they're not Khazars. So, in essence, somebody that's saying they're all Khazars might be right, but they were never really Jews to begin with. And that just makes Jews look bad. So, all you freaking Jesus-loving Jew haters out there and blaming Jews for the death of Jesus, you need to take a chill pill and freaking wake the hell up.
No, these people are just stupid. They need to take a basic grammar class. Because they go on YouTube and they can't even freaking speak or write. Oh, Jesus is my Lord, King, and Savior. First of all, there are like over 100 entities or deities from Babylon to Mesopotamia that pretty much have Jesus' exact story. I mean, from Greek, pagan mythology. Iran. Iran is basically the Vatican. Jesus is basically Mithra. Do I have to teach you idiots? Okay, should I go and get a degree in teaching and become a history teacher? I think so, because a lot of you idiots out there in internet land are just beyond stupid, and you need to be told the truth.
But
okay,
our audience is
absolutely
stupid.
not. I'm calling out the morons.
The ones that aren't listening.
Yes,
actually.
yes. Now our audience can appreciate my anger and frustrations towards these idiots, these trolls out in internet land.
Right, the trolls. Yeah.
I mean, all these bastards are probably working army psyops.
Yup.
And they're just stationed right next to you, trying to influence, change, and subvert everything you do. And I'm not one of them, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? These guys are out there. They're trying to collect money from you. They're trying to say, oh, yeah, we tell you the truth. Truth. Meanwhile, they're saying freaking hoorah, and you buy that? I mean, last time I checked, if there was thermite in the towers or whatever the hell they use, all that's military-grade weapons. So it was the military that did it. It was our own military that hit us. And it's our own military that'll hit us again and again and again and again and keep starting these paramilitary just excursions throughout. Just colonialism will continue under these cretins that love to say hoorah and semper freaking fidelis, all these just low-life scumbags that if you stood in front of me, let's say if you went into my home and tried to steal from me and you were pointing a gun right at me, I would stand right in front of you. I would take that gun. I would shove it straight up your candy freaking ass all over again. You hear me, you bastards? You don't have the balls to take on a real freaking man like me. I stand up to evil and tyranny every day, ladies and gentlemen.
The real tyranny. I'm going to talk about Alex Jones for a second because he really pissed me off.
You mean Bill Hicks?
Yeah, Bill Hicks. What he did, this guy is such a honeypotter that he will honeypot all of his listeners and tell you all how great he is and talk to you about the NSA and how they're spying. Meanwhile, he has your emails or he has your ISPs. He's got all your information. And guess what he did to us this week? As we're noticing all the Nazis around everywhere, Kaltenbrunner being one of his grandfathers, I was speaking about when I was a punk rocker and I used to wear my 20-hole Dr. Martens, my red ones, the oxblood ones, because I was always with punk rock in the East Village.
Sounds sexy.
Yeah, it was art school, whatever, and I just one time some lady, it wasn't just once, it was a couple of times, but one lady, she got really mad at me. My head was shaved, half of it was shaved off, looked really slick, I think Cassie stole my haircut, but it was, I used to paint my hair, my head in watercolors.
That's the days when you kicked it with agnostic front, right? Yeah, buddies. Anyway, go on, continue. I'm just talking here.
But so then basically this lady calls me out and says I'm a Nazi. And the thing is, I was telling Bruce that this week in the house, and Alex Jones comes up with the exact same story.
Yeah, I'm sure his idiot info warriors might remember that crap.
Exact same stories. Okay.
Yeah, I heard you tell me that first.
A week later. So they've already, Michael Savage already mentioned that they get scripts. Okay, so what's up with these scripts?
Speaking of Michael Savage, and speaking of his scripts, all right, this fat bastard wants to quote The Sopranos all the time, pretend he's a guinea. Let me tell you something, Michael Scavenger. You freaking fake Jew, you. I don't know what you think you are. You're some type of capo. You're some type of don on the radio. You know what? You're nothing more than Vito from The Sopranos. That's who you are. You're Vito. Every other word out of your mouth is Greek men this, and young men this, and men. I mean, dude, you belong in San Francisco. You are a genuine San Francisco treat. And you are Vito from The Sopranos. That's who you are. And I know you watched the series. I've heard you talk about it. You're Vito.
Yeah, Bruce is very sensitive toward that because he not only...
He's a fanook.
And that's okay. But, the fact is that Scavenger is probably puffing mad amounts of weed. And at the same time...
he's an undercover in the closet pot smoker. That's what he is.
Yeah, undercover pot smoker. Meanwhile, he's bashing pot every single day, coming up with lies about marijuana.
Because this freaking midget fake Jew bastard is working for the drug companies. He's working for Big Pharma.
That's right.
No, they don't want you to have hemp because it cures arthritis. You can make clothes out of it. Hell, you can make paper.
It cures cancer. It helps people with AIDS.
It is a wonder drug. And before we got cut off, last week, I heard that we got cut off. I reheard the show. Technical problems. People want to say it's the NSA. No, ladies and gentlemen, it happens sometimes. I was saying that UCLA has had a study where they determined that people who smoked marijuana, cannabis, I like to call it cannabis, people who smoked high amounts of cannabis were not at any risk of developing cancer, any type of cancer. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, Vito.
Michael.
Vito. Call him Vito from now on. I don't want our listeners to go and Google him and then not Google me. Okay? Vito. That's who he is. Vito freaking Fanuc Sarducci, whatever the hell. Now I'm going off train.
Sucker Vatican Pope. Yes.
I'm going off the rails here like a crazy train, folks. Anyway, we were talking about Israel earlier. Now, Israel is just going through a wave of attacks, and these are actually attacks. I'll say it. I mean, I'll call the Oregon one a hoax. I went and I did a little bit of research into these recent attacks, these recent stabbings they've been having. These crazy pubic hair bastards, pubic hair beard bastards, goat freaking eye eating bastards stabbing just people in Jerusalem. One of the old Jerusalem. All right, so these guys they want to raise some hell. I looked at the pictures. It looks like a genuine crime scene. So I mean, these freaking Vatican assassin Palestinians are going wild. And to the Israeli people out there, the people of the Jewish faith, I stand strong with you. I'm with you 199%. Okay, I just want you to grow some balls like the Mexicans. Okay, we fought off the French with pitchforks. We fought off freaking Geronimo and all his band of freaking Indians. We fight, ladies and gentlemen. I know you guys fight too, and hang in there. And I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the Palestinians, it's very sad. I mean, nobody in the Middle East wants them. Everybody just allows them.
Saudi Arabia has a tent city where they can house and help house. They're doing nothing. But go on.
I already told you about that, Bruce. That is like a luxury apartment for for Mecca.
Right.
That's nothing to do with the majority of the Middle East, okay? They do have space. Jordan has space. Lebanon has space.
No, but these Palestinians just want to blame the Israelis, and the Israelis are pounding us into smithereens.
It's a setup.
If you look at the heat-seeking missiles that Israel uses, they have Sony microchips in them. That means Japan has a big part in killing you stupid freaking Palestinians.
That's right.
You freaking satanic Arabic sages. Don't think I don't know that the first images of freaking Satanas, of freaking Beelzebub came from Saudi Arabia, you bastards. I know how evil you are.
Hezbollah, the Lebanon, okay, where it's like kind of fashioned out of...
Freaking black magic.
Out of Iran, they use the Palestinians as their front line. They're the front lines in the chessboard. You see, they're the pawns. Because they don't want to absorb them. So why don't they want to have, they just give them guns. And they don't give them books, they give them propaganda.
Yeah, they give them guns, propaganda, and then Hillary gives them M-pads too. Right? And then
funnel them tunnels.
Absolutely, we know that. And then when they run out of M-pads, what do? They go and they start some more crap. They start crap in Libya. They start crap all over.
That's overseas. What about what you heard about?
A total caliphate.
Okay, so what about what you heard about last night from the place you used to live at? Talking about underground tunnels and how the missiles got the M-pads got schlepped through from Libya to Israel to Palestine.
Well, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I used to live by a Air Force base, and I figured out they got underground tunnels out there. It's all part of the continuity of government. The Rex 84, back in those days, they were probably transporting nukes or missiles or other type of weaponry that they didn't want to have the public. Hey, what's that big-ass missile that's on the freeway, on the side of the freaking freeway?
But how did he know that there were...
No, what he told me was that there was this, like, fake mountain there. It's not really a mountain. It's like the Legion of Doom, like the UN here, how the UN is like its own little island, its own little Legion of Doom.
It's a building with grass on it.
It's a fake mountain that opens up, and Lord knows what comes out of it. A flying saucer, UFO, I don't know. But this is in California, the March Air Force Base. He was telling me about a conspiracy there. They run underground tunnels, and it's still active over there. I used to live right next to that place. It was a really tough time in my life that I got over. Thanks to you, I'm seeing greener pastures now.
You call New York City green?
It's very green to me.
We live by a park. It's actually nice. There's a few dead bodies in that park, but it's still a park.
Dear God. No, that park is historic too, because it's the site of where the British just slaughtered so many Americans, and it's a living proof that we should have no empathy towards the British.
Yeah.
Because they've killed us. Down the street, there's a park where the British killed, I don't know, hundreds of Americans.
Yeah, in theory, if you subscribe to the concept of
we never
hating
won
your
the
enemy.
War.
But, I don't really care about that. We have a lot of customers that are British. They buy our wonderful jewelry. They love our stuff. They
Good
appreciate
for them. I don't
that.
have a beef with the people. I have a beef with the governments.
Of course, but they're all working together. It's all cahoots. It's all designed to keep
Just like I don't have a beef with the Palestinian people. Okay, so I say some funny things. So what? I'm not PC, bro. Okay, I'm not PC principal, all right, bro? And if I do encounter a PC principal, I'm gonna kick his ass for what he did to Cartman.
We have Palestinian friends, and Bruce gets into it, but they just get into funny discussions, and
they're funny guys. They're funny guys.
It's all like
it's
theory
all
anyway.
It's all shits and giggles.
That's right. You know, and that's the truth of it. The truth of it really is that if they're not victimizing the Jews, they're victimizing the Arabs, and then they're trying to make you hate each other.
But we try to tell these guys that it's the Pope and his Jesuits that are right there in the middle. I mean, what was it? The Pope went over to Israel, last year or something like that, and it turns out that they actually bought land. The Vatican owns a lot of land in Jerusalem, so that it goes back to the ancient times, ladies and gentlemen.
They own the Dome of the Rock.
Absolutely. I know they own it because since 70 A.D., they took over that land when they destroyed the temple. When they originally destroyed the temple, it was the Romans. It was the Romans, the Visigoths that destroyed them. They merged together, and you got the Vatican and the Nazis, folks.
That's right.
Just go back and do your freaking homework in history.
And I don't know what
Please.
And I don't know what the Hasids are, and I think the Hasidim make Jews look bad.
Don't even get me started on those chicken-slapping, perverted, inbred, baby dick bloodsuckers.
Yeah, we're Jewish. Okay, but those Jews they don't like, for the most part.
They don't even like us. They don't like the Sephardim.
Most of them don't. Okay, there's many different sects of Hasidim, but the most of them don't really like you. And in Israel, they were considered second-class citizens. You know, you'd be considered an N-word. You know what I'm saying? Like, for them, that's N-word.
Speaking of N-word, in Israel, apparently I saw news that they launched a satellite to help Africa get internet.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's very nice.
That's great. I have a friend who designed, he designs all kinds of things for international, and he designed a pedal, and it got actually made to help irrigate for like a 4 or 5 year old, in Africa to help irrigate the land. And so they just pedal it, and it's just a beautiful thing, and they got to distribute that and help out a lot of farmers and things like that. So.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think little things that we do can help others. Although, it's hard when you're in such a world where you have very cold, heartless thieves.
So many people just focus on the
gold
negative.
Out of you. They want to pull the gold right out of your mouth
you're
alive.
Just like the Nazis and their Pope did to the Jews at the time.
That's right.
They let them straight to the ovens, but before that, hey, we need your art, we need your gold teeth, and the shoes on your feet. Here are these clogs. It's now the logo for the Jade Helm 15 exercise. Blah blah blah. Ladies and gentlemen, I implore you to listen to what we say. Okay, and take it, don't take it with a grain of salt. Study what we're saying, folks. Go out there and do your own research. And you'll find out that we're in the middle of a freaking war. Domestic.
And eternal.
And foreign and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, Obama is nothing more than a terrorist. He's a freaking terrorist. Okay, he's no different than this crisis actor from Oregon who shot the people. Or they say shot the people. Okay? Obama goes and bombs a hospital, an Afghan hospital, Doctors Without Borders, and then he just nonchalantly says, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What if that killer, the latest freaking Oregon killer, came out and said, hey, I'm sorry. I don't see any difference. It's the same. Just two guys acting. He's no president. He's a freaking actor.
Yeah.
I think they should revoke his Nobel Peace Prize. That's a joke. Okay, you got the guy that invented... It's truly a joke because Alfred Nobel invented dynamite. Okay, and there you have Obama using dynamite to blow people up and getting Nobel Peace Prizes. I don't get it. It's really perplexing.
Yeah. He was a charismatic guy when he first came out. He's been losing a lot of steam for the past 6 months. 8 months, and now I feel like he's just a shell, like a victim of his own body. They just puppeteer him around, giving him the script, and I think he's miserable. I don't know if when he first decided to be president, if he was a little bit of an idealist. I think they already know what they can and can't do, but I think he somehow thought he could maybe get his way through gentle persuasion, and they probably told him, you got to be kidding me. You do as we say, and that's it. There's no...
Well, that guy is the total opposite and the same. He's both opposite and the same as Bush. Okay, he's just Bush with a velvet glove in his hand, but a hammer in the other one, ready to bash your freaking skull in.
Mm.
And you came up with a very interesting observation. The killer, this fake crisis actor
Yeah,
killer.
we didn't touch on that.
His
last
name
week.
is Curtis Harper Mercer. Well, you came
Chris.
Looks like Curtis from far away.
Chris
Harper Mercer. And it turns out this guy looks just like this Jesuit Vatican bishop, grandfather Adolf Marx.
Or is it? Yeah, Adolf.
Adolf. It's all freaking Weimar to me.
Which is the same name. It's funny as Harpo Marx. So one of the Marx brothers is Harpo, and so if you look up, there's two Adolf Marxes. One of them is Harpo. The other one is a bishop, and who is a Vatican, specifically worked for the Vatican.
And what happened? The Pope, the dope, leaves. And he says, "Oh, you're in for hell from above." And as soon as he leaves, there's some type of shooting. The guy turns out to look exactly like a Jesuit bishop grandfather, the grandson of this guy.
What was interesting was that there was an actual discussion, I think on InfoWars. I don't know if you heard it, but they were discussing about the color and how he's altering the color of
to make him look more white.
To make him look more white. And it's true because you could see this kid is mixed. But you can also see the same thing with it looks like his grandfather, Adolf. When you see, he looks like a black man as well.
Adolf Marx.
Same thing. So when he's wearing the same glasses and he looks the same, he has the same nose and the same eyes. And, and I believe that kid, you will probably grow his hair a bit, get worked out and change his features up a little bit. So they altered the image of him for the public, so nobody really knows what color he is. So we'll come out, he'll have a tan, he'll be darker, he'll have dreadlocks maybe, he'll sport a different body, and they'll call him something different, and nobody will remember, because everybody looks alike these days.
He'll drive around in Venice Beach smoking pot with Elliot Rodgers.
You know what the Anti-Defamation League actually had the nerve, the audacity to post? They said, ICYMI, this is just historically inaccurate. The small number of personal firearms available to Germany and Jews in 1938 could in no way have stopped the totalitarian power of the Nazi German state.
Oh, that's such BS.
When they had weapons, Jews could symbolically resist as they did in the 1943 Warsaw Ghetto Uprising and elsewhere, but they could not stop the Nazi genocide machine. Jews, you had no way out, honey. That's what the ADL is saying.
First of all, the ADL has no balls. Okay, you use guerrilla warfare. Okay, you hit them when they're coked out and weeded. You use sticky bombs like in Save It Private Ryan. You do whatever you have to do. You don't just put your tail in between your legs, ladies and gentlemen. That's why if there's one thing that these freaking gringo bastards want to take away from my proud Mexican people is that you may punch us once, you may punch us twice, you may punch us 3 times, but you better watch out when we come back to punch you. You're going to be on your ass. We fight, ladies and gentlemen. We fight the French. We fight the freaking Indians. We fight them all. We fight, ladies and gentlemen. Fight, fight, fight.
That's why they didn't go back for the Sephardics. They only got them first in the Inquisition because they had that,
And not only that, but we also fight for America too. And they have some nerve to say, oh, Donald fucking Trump has some nerve to say, oh, go back. You asshole. My people have bled for this country. People like Eugene A. Obregon and other proud Mexican veterans that died for this country and died for their platoon and gave their lives for these unconstitutional, undeclared bankster wars so that you could sleep in your goddamn bed, you bald son of a bitch!
I want to talk about Melendez, the case Melendez that you were discussing with me.
I gotta calm down a little bit first. That's an epic rant,
listen,
if I ever had one.
Albert Spears lives, and another cousin of another Lebensborn is Justin Timberlake. And I'll explain to you. Albert Spears, the architect, he created a lake for the Nazis. It was an artificial lake. And timber, meaning, is like the sound of somebody's voice. So Justin Spears is also related to what's his face, Chump. Okay, so they're all like running everything. You see the idea of the master race? They're winning. They put their men into position so you can look at their blue eyes and their blonde hair and worship them, their idols, them as idols.
Now, you were talking about, I totally get you. I'm going to just calm down a little bit. You were talking about how Israel, if the Jews would have used their guns to go up against the Nazis, they would have won. Or it wouldn't have made a difference, actually. Mm-hmm. You said it wouldn't have made a difference.
I didn't say that. This is the ADL is saying that in response
that is not what Israel is saying now today. Israel is actually the complete opposite. Okay. They've kind of become like an extra Republican Party, like a Republican Party Part 2. Well, not really, because the Republicans and the Democrats are both in bed together. Both want to take your guns, but Israel is now saying the opposite of that. They're actually telling in wake of these recent stabbings, they're actually telling their citizenry that they want them to be armed.
Yeah. Well, the ADL is saying they're coming out because they're really, I mean, it's actually in English, it's not in Hebrew, so they're appealing to the American Jews. And
oh, yeah, those Jews for Jesuits, right?
Yeah, so then and a lot of them agree with it, the ADL.
Of course they're going to agree.
No, they didn't all. There's a lot of people fighting them, telling them to stick to anti-Semitism and not get your hands out of our guns.
I mean, I'm just looking at that picture of Ben Carson right now. He looks like the freaking Baphomet, as above, so below, with his finger up.
Sticking right up, yeah. I mean,
that's what that hand gesture means.
What's up with his eyes? He looks like the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz.
He looks like Cheech. He looks like he's been smoking too much of his own freaking dope. That's what that guy, Ben Carson. He looks like they opened up his brain and gave him neurosurgery. That guy's a dud.
They chipped his brain.
No, they did the same thing that Hannibal did to Ray Liotta.
Why would somebody want to be a president if they're a brain surgeon? They should stick to brain surgery. All right, politicians are politicians. They lie through their teeth. Do I want to know that a brain surgeon is a liar? That means he's operating on people that don't need brain surgeries. Speaking of operating on things that don't need to be operated on, the Mike Adams actually sent out a great article about cancer that's been wrongly diagnosed, and people are constantly being operated on. False diagnosis from a cancer-consumed industry. Many they'll read it wrong.
That's why you always get a second opinion.
More than a second. You
get a third, you get a fourth, you get a fifth.
Yeah, I think
because doctors don't know jack.
But you can't wait.
Some of these MDs aren't even proficient or experts in their own field of medicine.
They're not. They know nothing about nutrition. They will tell you they don't know anything about it. They don't even learn it in medical school. It's been stripped out of the whole curriculum, according to Rockefeller papers. They don't, and I've spoken to doctors. They only learn basic healing nutrition when you're in a hospital or what not to take with certain medicines. They know, they're not allowed to tell you if this herb makes you feel better, if this honey is great for you. Sometimes, some people put honey on a wound and it's supposed to be great, I wouldn't put
Well, honey is great for a sore throat.
Well, honey, yeah. The best thing for a sore throat is food-grade hydrogen peroxide, actually. If you take a little of that, gargle with the food-grade hydrogen peroxide, or if you have to do regular, do it, but I wouldn't always do that because there's aluminum particles in there. But just don't swallow it, spit it out. And then you take a rubbing alcohol, or just a rag of it, and you wipe it on on your skin. And that could pretty much do it. And a scalar energy wand is always great, but we have to tell people about it, another time. We'll get into our scalar energy.
There's another time for that. But now, going back to the conspiracies, folks, because yo soy el maestro de las conspiraciones. Straight from Laurel Canyon, folks. This one is straight out of Laurel Canyon. We discovered JonBenet Ramsey's alive. It was all a hoax. And she is your firework known as Katy Perry.
Can you believe that? And I did a total back-to-back
facial analysis. 100%.
Facial analysis. They're exactly alike. There's no difference. Except that she's older. And you can see photographs. You can even do it yourself. Type in Katy Perry young and Benet. Okay.
Or go to my YouTube, type in Bruce Montalvo or Exposed News, and you will go to our YouTube page, and you'll see I have a video up there, and you'll see the facial comparisons that we came up with.
Yeah, and they're identical. And not only that, Katy knows it too. She's making fun of it. She takes the same pictures. There's a picture of
Absolutely.
Katy when she's young, and she's got brown hair. And then there's a dyed blonde hair of John Bonet, and wearing almost the same outfit. It was the same outfit, just different colors. It was the exact same sailor outfit. And the blonde hair is obviously dyed with Bonet. All right, it's disgusting how they beauty queened her out. And how apropos, we're in beauty queen land. You know, that's what it is. If you know, he even said so himself, like, oh yeah, and I beauty contest, and
Let me tell you something. If you freaking morons elect Donald Trump, if you stop paying attention and you're laughing at him 1 minute, then the next minute you're swearing him into the freaking office and you don't know how it happened, this country is going to become just like in the South Park episode, how when Donald Trump took over Canada, it's going to be desolate. Everything will be gone. There'll be nothing but Trump towers everywhere.
Yeah.
And you won't live in them. You'll be on the outside, like in that movie, freaking Night of the Living Dead Part 3, or whatever the hell it was. You'll be wishing that you were in the building with the big shot, with the chump in the building.
Exactly.
And here's another one, folks. Turns out that this President Puto from Russia,
yeah,
is a fake Russian.
Yeah.
And one of his, I was looking through pictures of old 13 SS Division Hanzar soldiers, and I saw this one soldier that just stuck out. He stuck out like a sore thumb. I was like, holy guacamole, this guy looks just like Putin. And then I put a picture of Burzynski. We put a picture of Burzynski next to Putin, Burzynski next to the Hanzar soldier. They're related. There might be even more to this.
Listen,
tell me.
That is Brzezinski.
You got Putin over there. They're saying that he's got ISIS on the ropes, blah, blah, blah. Okay, they're only hitting a couple of guys that they got tired of playing G.I. Joe in the desert with. Okay?
Do you know how I figured it out? The ears. I don't know why. We were doing something with Putin and al-Bashar because...
You mean Bashar al-Elf?
Bashar al-Elf.
That guy looks like a freaking Keebler elf.
His ears are so elf-like. I couldn't believe it.
That guy, too. We forgot that guy. I mean, there's Putin, Brzezinski, and Bashar al-Assad. They all look like they're...
Oh, look at those ears on Bashar. They're like really elf-like. And then, it was not even a day later, there was some really funny post, ugly post, the most wickedest looking man. I mean, I'm not saying he is the wickedest man. I'm just saying he looked really wicked. There was like a wicked picture of him. Brzezinski, his face, his eyes were all red and bloodshot, and his skin was all like really, really aged.
Yeah, Brzezinski really looks like Bram Stoker or Gary Oldman's Dracula.
Something out of the
crypt.
And
it makes sense. It makes sense because Putin called Bashar al-Assad his son of a bitch. So, okay, who's the bitch? What's the relation to you, Puto?
So these are the real Khazars, okay? So
exactly.
Bashar is not really Muslim. Or he could be because the Nation of Islam, you have Brzezinski, if he was part of the Hanzar Bosnia division, was it Bosnia or Serbia? It's Bosnia.
Bosnia.
Yeah, so Bosnia division, and then you have another affiliate, maybe it's his nephew, I think, probably. Bashar is a nephew. His mother, one of them probably bred a real Syrian. But the mother, one of them is definitely related to Putin. Those ears are just insane. So I looked at their ears, I put their faces next to each other, and then when I was looking up the pictures to analyze them, Google, and I just put like Brzezinski, right? Brzezinski, Zabrinski, how do you say his name?
Oh, I'm getting confused now.
How do you say his first name?
Neo Brzezinski.
Yeah. When I pulled up his name, Google put Putin's face right next to his.
Kind of when you say that name, Neo Brzezinski, you gotta like move your mouth to the side like you're on crack.
Right.
You know, like you're just a lying son of a bitch that talks out of the side of his mouth.
It's a fake name. It's only for the intellectuals to be able to speak it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is the coup de grace to the coup d'etat. I'll tell you why they are in Syria, folks. Because right by the Golan Heights, they have just found a huge deposit of petroleum.
Minerals. Wherever that is, guess what else is there? If they found petroleum, they found diamonds. And let me tell you something about that Middle East and Afghanistan and how they sort of whitewashed the rest of when they found $14 trillion worth of minerals in Afghanistan. That's why we're still there. They're digging up the emeralds, the diamonds, the rubies, all kinds of stuff they use for computers.
I mentioned earlier that I stood with the people of Israel, the people who practice Judaism. I don't stand with their government because their government, along with my government, first and foremost, the American government, who is the Grand El Satanos, they're the ones that are funneling and funding, and I mean they're funding ISIS. There are no Toyota dealerships in the Middle East.
Okay, but I don't care.
How do they get all those freaking Toyotas? There are no Toyota dealerships in the Middle East, yet they have better freaking Toyotas than I ever had.
But I'm going to tell you what I have a problem with. Okay, I'm not going to worry about what's going on overseas. I'm worried about...
Oh, yeah, you better worry, because what happens when those bastards come over here?
That's what I'm telling you, okay, is that these guys are already here. So that's what I'm worried about. Why should they want you freaked out about what's going on overseas? Meanwhile, they've creeped in Army, Intel, PSYOPs, and their NSA so intensely that they're watching us all the time, watching our emails. Oh, one of our buyers, right? She was telling me how much she loved sunflowers and how she used to wear bell bottoms and bangles. Lo and behold, we started getting, Elle magazine, and then I flipped through it. First thing is a picture in this ad of a girl wearing bell bottoms with sunflowers and bangles. So, they snooped through everything. And that they knew that paper was coming, that magazine was coming straight up to my house, and they knew I was going to look at it. So they try to gang stalk you now. They take your ideas. They take the crap that comes out of your mouth when you're not even paying attention.
Crap that comes out of the mouth. That sounds just like a South Park episode.
Yeah, they did that, right?
Speaking of crap that comes out of people's mouths, German TV is going around saying that Angela Merkel is a jihadi, Wahhabi, Vatican assassin.
Merkel and burqa.
German TV network accused of Islamophobia portrays Angela Merkel in burqa. Now, do you think she's the network should be called out for Islamophobia? I don't think it's Islamophobia. I think it's more like satire, and they're just pretty much letting it known that the Führer's daughter, Hitler's daughter, is sympathetic to the Vatican Muslims because Hitler was sympathetic to the Vatican Muslims. Hence, you get Merkel in burqa.
That's right. And you know what? If they ever hate her so much, she can always put on a burqa. One of the ones with the two little slots that makes you look like Casper, the unfriendly ghost, with the black ones, with the.
No,
she can
that's
go
what
to
they put her in.
And she can go to Bahrain and stay there.
She can go to Bahrain and rap with Tupac.
That's right. Hang out with Michael Jackson, from what we understand.
Michael Jackson.
Didn't he? That's what they said. They said they moved. He never died. He was at his own funeral wearing a blonde wig, and it shows up that it is him. And then he went to Bahrain to hide out because they don't have to leave their property.
Not before dressing up as Dave.
Dave, right? That was great when we found that out.
Well,
why are we able to see all these things now, Bruce?
Because we are the all-knowing, all-seeing alpha omegas of conspiracy.
But,
now, let's go to this next article here. Putin feared U.S.-led assassination of Assad, sends Spetsnaz special forces into Syria. So, ladies and gentlemen, Putin, it's known that Putin hangs out and likes to give millions of dollars to these these Russian bikers, these Russian mercenaries. All right, he hangs out with them. He freaking looks like a gangster hanging out with them, and he sent his worst over to Syria because the U.S. and Israel, they want Assad gone. I mean, going back to Operation Orchard. I mean, Assad's no saint, ladies and gentlemen. But you know that guy. They don't love America. That guy. Bashar al-Assad, Bashar carne asada, soon to be carne asada if Putin didn't step in and send those Spetsnaz and special forces in there. But look, I'm reading Rolling Stone and I see this article of Putin hanging out with mercenaries, these bikers known as Putin's Angels, the ride of Russia's night wolves. I mean, look at this guy. First of all, look at this freaking missionary right here, Heiling Hitler right away. And,
oh my God.
And look at him. He's at least killed like 19 people throughout his life. And Putin looks like Bono or some type of freaking rock star. Look at that. Brothers in arms. I'm a warrior, says the surgeon. Says, I'm fighting for my country. No, let me do it in a Russian accent. I'm warrior, says surgeon. I'm fighting for my country against the face now, especially America.
You sound like Transylvanian.
Whatever. So I sound like Bela Lugosi. So what? The fact of the matter is, Putin is sending mercenaries, is sending freaking bikers, is sending everybody to kick off World War V.
Because they're going to kick
because
it up.
World War III started when 9/11 happened. And so this has got to be World War V.
He's going to send that biker to your home to beat you up for exposing that Brzezinski is his father.
Well, they could kiss my ass. I'm going to tell the people who are listening to me, my fellow audience, a little bit of something about Bruce Montalvo. Now, El Gran Bruce Montalvo is no slouch. Now, this guy who I just made fun of, who Jah Jah says can kick my ass.
Putin?
Oh, well, Putin's homeboy. That guy's huge. The guy with 19 bodies. The guy I showed you, Heiling Hitler.
I understand, but it would be Putin.
He looks scary. Him. Yes.
Putin can hire anybody.
Anybody.
He's just one of
KGB.
20,000 people that can come knocking on your door. Bruce, I heard that you're telling people that Brzezinski's my dad. I'm not really happy about it.
First of all, what happened to Denzel Washington in Training Day? The Russians freaking put a cap in his ass. You don't mess with the Russians, but I'm American. I'm not afraid of anybody, and I'm trying to put that freaking proud Americanism back into people because we've become pussies. So let me tell you something about Bruce Montalvo. I've trained with Chris Ariola's father. I've trained with people who have fought freaking Bermain Stervain and all these freaking guys. I'm no slouch, right?
Yeah, I don't think that Americans are pussies. I think it's misdirected anger. Because like you said so yourself, they say that we're the great Satan. You know, and Israel is no pussies because they're all tough, right? We go pushing around, colonizing everybody. I mean, would you rather be here? Would you rather be in Mexico? Would you rather be here? Would you rather be in Haiti? Would you rather be here? Would you rather be in, some other Brazil, like where I used to live? I mean, there's no...
I want to be in America. I want to fight for America. My people have always been in America on the West Coast. Now, I'm not saying let in more waves of people. No, stay the fuck away. You worry about your revolution over there. You're doing exactly, the illegal immigrant, you're doing exactly what the oligarchs of your country want you to do. They want you to leave because you don't have any balls to start a revolution of your own and change things in your own country. We have enough Mexicans here, and you're taking money from education to our Chicanos. You're taking these things. You're holding up the lines when we go to ER. We have enough Mexicans here to do the things we always do. We don't need any more influx of not just Mexicans but Syrians
the right way.
And any other type of thing. The right way. They say the right way, but then they get dicked around to the right way. If you try to immigrate here the right way, they basically make it impossible for these people to. But all I'm saying is grow a pair of nuts and stand up.
Nobody wanted the Jews when they were getting kicked out of Europe.
And reclaim your countries. Fight for your countries.
Well,
when the time comes, if I have to fight for my country out in the middle of the street, hopefully that time never comes. Because like H.G. Wells says, we're all going to lose.
But if you were in the Holocaust, would you want to be fighting for your country or would you want to be fighting for your life?
I'll fight for my life.
Okay, so there's no country there if your country went all Nazi.
But you understand what I'm saying. The fact that these illegal immigrants immigrate from their countries into America, they're allowing the fascist dictatorships, the socialist autocracies and oligarchies that are there to continue.
Tell you what, bro. I think that we should make friends with them. I think we should get all the...
What, are you PC now?
Excuse me. I think that we should befriend all the illegals, all the crazies, everybody that got a gun, give them more guns, and if these freaking Nazis try to take it up even further, then at least we got an army. What you think, bro?
Well, an army that doesn't love America, that doesn't even know who the freaking president is, that has no... Or any president, or even can recite the first 5 of the Constitution to you. An army of people who hate America, who, when they have soccer games, they chant death to America. That's what you want?
But if they're here, they're not going to say that. Okay? They just say that just to be, hate the enemy, on their other team. You see any two teams, the Mets, the Yankees, we hate each other,
And speaking of the Mets and the Yankees don't hate each other.
There are Arabs here that love America.
I think you meant the Red Sox and the Yankees, and de Blasio, the mayor. It just goes to show he shouldn't even be mayor of New York because he's a Boston Red Sox fan. But whatever the hell. Look, ladies and gentlemen, the UN recently...
Boston Red Sox, Diablo?
Exactly. The UN, ladies and gentlemen, has just voted that they're not going to stop killer robots. I had Noel Sharkey on. After I had him on, I had the NSA basically give my interview to some bimbo slut who can't even be a kindergarten teacher.
Why don't you just say who it is? It's his daughter. It's Alex Jones's daughter.
Alex Jones's daughter.
Okay, Agent McGee.
Agent Slut. You did a terrible interview of Noel Sharkey.
Terrible interview.
Okay, they had the NSA trying to bug my interview that ended up being great. So I know you did your homework.
But it was so horrible how they really tapped out the time and they were doing all kinds of, blank.
It was a tough interview, but we got the questions that we wanted to have him answer. And pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, since that interview with Noel Sharkey, we were talking about how the UN, he's trying to have a vote go across to ban killer robots, and it's not happening, folks. That's what they want. They're in Syria, and eventually, like the RoboCop movie, they want to be able to have these robots there that just, they have no regard for human life. Whatever you program into them, well, kill terrorists. Okay, he'll think if he sees a baby with a rattle, he'll think the rattle is an AK-47. He'll blow up the baby. They have no common sense, robots. I don't think they should be used for warfare. I mean, autonomous drones. I mean, any drone could just fly anywhere and blow up any freaking brown-skinned freaking goat eye eater. And then after that, they blow up the drone and case closed. There's no evidence of who did it, who done it.
They can take a drone. They can put like a bomb, like a Molotov cocktail, or some kind of a bomb, a detonating explosive device, and put it on a drone and just drone in New York or something and go and bust up any building they want.
That was in a Batman comic, actually, but go on.
Yeah, and then they can maneuver it and lodge it in the basement of a building and just say, oh, it was a gas explosion.
Yeah, like the one that recently happened in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You see, she's clapping, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I'm killing a mosquito, actually.
There's a freaking bug flying over
there.
Yes,
don't mess with us.
They're going to use robots not to replace us with them, because that's stupid. I mean, robots replacing us, I mean, they're our moronic slaves. I mean, they could barely fold linen. And you think they're going to just replace all the race? See, this is what the racists want. The racists want robots to replace all the little Mexican maids so they go home. That's what they want. They're so racist that they want to have laser beams and directed energy weapons attached to the border so when they see a freaking illegal immigrant trying to come in here, they zap them to death.
I think they want to do it with anybody.
Racist scumbags.
I don't know.
Now, I'm not saying they should let them in, let anybody into America anymore. Technically, I mean, we're full, folks. We can't take any more people. Okay? Well, I don't think so.
Well, I have no idea. I don't measure the square footage.
No, but they're giving
America.
people who are not from America, who don't really care to even assimilate or learn the language. They're giving them all these other opportunities and education for this and that. What about the Chicanos who already been here, like
okay,
my people?
Then they're here, then they should do well.
No, but they're American now.
That's
but
good.
they're giving other people chances that should be given just
That's not
to
true.
the Americans.
America is a capitalist system. Don't you understand? That's why we have Etsy. That's why we create jewelry. Okay, and
Yes, you
have to.
You make your own
you
business.
make your own business, and if you're stupid enough,
But
to
now Obama says you didn't even own that.
Yeah,
You didn't even make your own
okay, but he
business.
doesn't know what he's saying.
And then the Pope is coming over here and he's saying that if you do have a business, it's null and void, and all your earnings somehow will be taxed by the IRS, who is run by the Queen of England, and it's going to go to make him just have a better golden Pope toilet.
And make you feel guilty because you didn't help the poor. And, meanwhile, then they still taxing you. They didn't take your tax money and give it to the poor.
I'm so sick of these people.
So, I don't know. I'm not 100. I know that you as a good patriot, you want to stop people from coming in.
I want Americans to get what they deserve.
But there's power in numbers,
To get their
and people
well-to-do
and
what they
people,
deserve.
everything evens out. I'm really into like this sort of natural ebb and flow of things, and sometimes they just feng shui people, and that's what it looks like with the Syrians and all the Arabs running into Europe. And believe me, the average European is like, I think they would have rather had the Jews run to them than the Arabs, because now they're all screaming, "Oh, they're so dirty." Oh yeah, the Jews are all. But you know what?
Look, when we walk by, when we walk in the streets around here in New York, we see, like by these Yemenis areas, you see them throw out the couches or the beds. They're filled with bed bugs.
Yeah,
They're not very cleanly people.
But then again,
then the prayer rugs filled with freaking bed bugs
That's just
too.
that. But that's not. But then again, we eat there. We go to the best. The butcher is halal, so they're very careful. So, just because, but they were targeted. You have to feel bad for them. They're victimized to make them look bad. Just like the Jews are made to look like whatever they want to say. Oink oink. David Cameron's a Jew, and oink oink. He banged a Jew. I don't know.
Pig fucker.
Yeah. So they're still good people, and Arabs should know better. The really smart ones don't hate Jews, and the really good ones don't hate Jews, because they know that everybody's the same.
Look, I don't hate anybody. I hate everybody equally, and I know that it's the Vatican that wants everybody against everybody. And
so they can reign supreme.
So they can reign supreme, folks, and it's the Vatican that owns most of the gold in the world. So if you want to go to a gold standard, you're only going to make that freaking dope Pope,
richer.
Masonic pedophile Pope, who has 48 eyewitnesses testifying that he's committed child sacrifices, blood sacrifices. He's part of the Ninth Circle Satanic cult, so you're only making that son of a bitch richer.
That's right.
But anyway, you want to make the right people richer? Make us richer. Go to Etsy. Go to
Etsy.com. That's etsy.com/shop/antique obsessions. You could just go to Etsy.com and type in Antique Obsessions, or type in one word, conceptual subculture. And right now in conceptual subculture, we have a 50% off sale. It won't last long, and things just move very quickly. So we're constantly producing beautiful, one-of-a-kind, handmade, sterling silver, copper, steampunk, tribal, primitive, very amazing looking. Great. People love it, and they...
Please, ladies and gentlemen, buy the jewelry so that I could be so freaking rich that I'll throw a parade and be like the Joker in Party Man, just throwing money all over the place, ladies and gentlemen. Please, I don't want to be a bum playing music for kindergartners on the side of the street.
Like
please buy some of our jewelry, and ladies and gentlemen,
Bruce wants to buy a guitar.
I want a Jackson, so you want to help me get a Jackson? You want to hear the best pinch harmonics there is? Buy some jewelry.
We have cuffs for guys too. We got copper cuffs, and they're a pretty big hot seller. We got copper that we forge with sterling silver on it. Some flame, some minimalist, all different. It's just like scrap sterling. We rivet on, patina it, and buff it up, and it's mad cool. It's just like chic and stuff. A lot of guys buy that, so we have stuff for guys also.
Look. We know everybody's got a price, and we know everybody's got to pay. And you've been listening to the Bruce Montalvo Show, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we're out of time. This has been a great show. My co-host, Jah Jah.
Yo, peace, y'all. And every night from 12 to 3, you can hear my music. There's a new album coming out soon. I'm trying to put a little pressure on my producer. She seems to be very busy. I'm trying to get the mastering finished. Knock, knock. So we got 2 tracks already out, released singles. Get your guns up and break the door down. There's videos to go along with that. You should just check that out.
Be sure to check out, for all things Jah Jah, go to Jah Jah's new page on MTV.com. That's right, Jah Jah. That's MTV.com/artist/Jah Jah. So make sure you land on the right Jah Jah, because there are so many other people trying to steal her swagger.
They're trying to jack my name, too.
But you'll know she's one of a kind. The
only one that making music.
The most beautiful Jah Jah there is. So she's just, you'll know who she is.
It's not a little black boy. That's all. No. Who doesn't make music?
It's a very, very hot.
I think it was probably hired by 50 Cent to just take my name.
It's a very, very hot.
Eminem, probably one of Eminem's friends.
Brooklyn
take a name. Oh, it's coming out? Oh, screw Jah Jah first. Take a name first. But nothing she could do.
Anyway, you look super hot on there.
Thank you.
We used the best pictures. But we are out of time. Did a little bit of overdrive. Again, you could tune in to the best in alternative media every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. This has been the Bruce Montalvo Show. I'm Bruce Montalvo. This is Jah Jah. We're signing out from the epicenter of cool, Brooklyn, New York. Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Not the music you were expecting? Know what you're getting into with your music and your internet. Straight Up Internet is $50 all in, no hidden fees. And like this music, you can even pause it. Straight Up Internet. Know what you're getting into. Not the music you were expecting? Know what you're getting into with your music and your internet. Straight Up Internet is $50 all in, no hidden fees. And like this music, you can even pause it. Straight Up Internet. Know what you're getting into.